Good day, everyone. Today we're embarking on a journey through the evolution of the world's most widely adopted quality management standard. ISO 9001 has been the backbone of quality management for millions of organizations worldwide, and as we speak, it's undergoing its most significant update since 2015. The key message I want you to remember today is this: the 2026 revision is an evolution, not a revolution. This means that if you're already certified to ISO 9001-2015, you're not starting from scratch. Instead, we are building on the solid foundation you already have, enhancing it to meet the challenges of today's business environment. Think of it like upgrading your smartphone. The core functionality remains the same, but you're getting new features that make it more powerful and relevant for today's world. The familiar 10-clause structure you know and love? It's staying. But we're adding some exciting new capabilities that will make your quality management system more robust and future-ready. Let's talk timing because this is crucial for your planning. We are currently in a very dynamic period for ISO 9001. Just this year, we saw an amendment adding climate change considerations that's already giving us a preview of where the standard is heading. Right now, as we speak, the draft international standard is being refined. Think of this as the beta testing phase where experts worldwide are providing feedback. Come September 2026, we'll have the final published standard in our hands, but here's the important part: you won't need to scramble to comply immediately. Just like with the transition from 2008 to 2015, there will be a 3-year transition period. This gives you time to plan, prepare, and implement changes thoughtfully rather than reactively. My advice? Start preparing now. Organizations that began preparing for the 2015 version early found the transition much smoother than those who waited until the last minute. Now, let's dive into what's really changing at the heart of ISO 9001. If you're familiar with the 2015 version, you already know the 4 pillars: risk-based thinking, process approach, customer focus, and leadership engagement. These aren't going anywhere. They're the DNA of ISO 9001, but here's where it gets interesting. The 2026 version is adding 5 new dimensions that reflect how business has evolved over the past decade. First, ethics and integrity. We are living in an era where stakeholders demand transparency and ethical behavior. Second, quality culture. It's not enough to have processes. You need a culture that breathes quality. Third, sustainability. Climate change and social responsibility aren't optional anymore. Fourth, digital transformation. AI, automation, and digital tools are reshaping how we work. And finally, climate change considerations are now explicitly required. Think of these additions as upgrading from a 4-cylinder engine to a 9-cylinder engine: more power, better performance, ready for the road ahead. Let's zoom in on one of the most significant changes: what's expected from your leadership team. In the 2015 version, we asked top management to demonstrate leadership and commitment. That was good, but somewhat vague. The 2026 version gets much more specific. Now, top management must actively promote and demonstrate a quality culture and ethical behavior. This isn't just about having policies on paper, it's about walking the walk every single day. What does this look like in practice? It means your CEO needs to be visibly championing quality initiatives. Your managers need to be role models for ethical decision-making. Your leadership team needs to create an environment where quality isn't just a department, it's everyone's responsibility. This change recognizes something we've learned over the years: you can have the best processes in the world, but without strong, visible leadership commitment to quality culture and ethics, your QMS will never reach its full potential. Here's where ISO 9001-2026 really shows its forward-thinking nature. In our interconnected, transparent world, ethical business practices aren't just nice to have, they're essential for survival. The 2015 version assumed that ethical behavior was implied through general quality principles. But let's be honest, that wasn't explicit enough for today's business environment. The 2026 version makes ethics central to everything you do. This means when you're developing products, you consider ethical implications. When you're making business decisions, ethics is a key factor. When you're interacting with suppliers, customers, or the community, integrity guides your actions. This isn't about adding bureaucracy, it's about embedding ethical thinking into your business DNA. Companies that have already started this journey are finding it actually simplifies decision-making because they have clear principles to guide them. Remember, in today's world, a single ethical misstep can destroy decades of reputation building. The 2026 standard is helping you build safeguards against that risk. Now, let's talk about one of my favorite enhancements, the evolution of risk-based thinking. The 2015 version introduced risk-based thinking, which was revolutionary at the time. It moved us from reactive problem-solving to proactive risk prevention, but the 2026 version takes this a giant step further. It's not just about identifying and managing risks anymore, it's about transforming risks into opportunities. Think about it this way, every risk you identify contains the seeds of an opportunity. A supply chain risk might lead you to discover new, more reliable suppliers. A technology risk might push you to innovate in ways you never considered. A market risk might open your eyes to new customer segments. The new standard expects you to have structured approaches for this transformation. This means training your teams to ask not just what could go wrong, but also how could this challenge become our competitive advantage. Organizations that master this mindset don't just survive disruptions, they thrive because of them. Let's address the elephant in the room. Technology has completely transformed how we work, and quality management needs to keep up. When ISO 9001-2015 was developed, many of today's technologies were science fiction. The 2026 version acknowledges that digital technology, AI, and automation aren't just tools, they're game changers for quality management. Remote work, which became mainstream during the pandemic, has created new challenges for maintaining quality standards. But here's the exciting part, these technologies aren't just creating challenges, they're creating unprecedented opportunities for quality improvement. AI can predict quality issues before they occur. Digital systems can provide real-time quality monitoring. Automation can eliminate human error in critical processes. The new standard doesn't mandate specific technologies, it's technology agnostic. Instead, it requires you to thoughtfully integrate quality-enhancing technologies into your processes. This means you need to evaluate how digital tools can strengthen your QMS, not just digitize your existing processes. The message is clear, embrace the digital transformation or risk being left behind. Here's perhaps the most timely addition to ISO 9001, the explicit integration of sustainability and climate change considerations. This isn't just about being environmentally friendly, it's about business survival in a resource-constrained world. The 2015 version had limited environmental considerations, focusing mainly on operational efficiency. But the world has changed dramatically. Climate change is no longer a distant threat, it's affecting supply chains, regulations, customer expectations, and operational costs right now. The 2026 version requires you to demonstrate environmental stewardship and social accountability. This means considering the environmental impact of your processes, actively working to reduce waste, and aligning with corporate social responsibility principles. But here's the business case, organizations that embrace sustainability early are finding competitive advantages. They're reducing costs through efficiency improvements, attracting environmentally conscious customers, and positioning themselves favorably with investors who increasingly consider ESG factors. This isn't just about compliance, it's about future-proofing your business for a world where sustainability is a competitive necessity. Now, let's talk structure, because this is important for those of you managing multiple standards. The good news is that ISO 9001-2026 maintains the 10-clause Annex SL structure that you're already familiar with, but here's the enhancement, the 2026 version will be fully aligned with ISO's harmonized structure. What does this mean for you? If you're managing multiple ISO standards, perhaps ISO 14001 for environmental management or ISO 45001 for occupational health and safety, integration becomes much smoother. The terminology has been refined for clarity, and clauses have been updated to reflect modern business contexts. Think of this as fine-tuning a well-designed engine. The basic architecture remains the same, but everything runs more smoothly. For organizations with integrated management systems, this is fantastic news. You'll find less duplication, clearer interfaces between standards, and more efficient management of your overall system. The message here is integration, not fragmentation. ISO wants to make your life easier, not more complicated. Now, I know what many of you are thinking, this sounds like a lot of work. Do I need to rebuild my entire quality management system? The answer is absolutely not. The beauty of this revision is that it's designed for minimal disruption. The core requirements that form the backbone of your current system remain largely unchanged. We are talking about enhancement, not replacement. However, there are 5 key areas where you should focus your preparation efforts. First, leadership development. Your management team needs to understand and embody the new expectations around culture and ethics. Second, risk management processes need to evolve to capture opportunities. Third, you need to assess how technology can enhance your quality processes. Fourth, sustainability planning needs to become part of your quality thinking. And fifth, your documentation will need updates to reflect these new requirements. Start thinking about these areas now. The organizations that begin preparing early will find the transition smooth and even beneficial, as these changes often improve efficiency and effectiveness. Let's talk about practical planning. Based on historical patterns with ISO standards, here's how I recommend you approach the transition. We're currently in what I call the preparation phase. Even though the final standard isn't published yet, you can start preparing. Conduct a gap analysis based on what we know about the draft requirements. Start training your leadership team on the new expectations around culture and ethics. Assess your current technology and identify opportunities for quality-enhancing upgrades. Once the standard is published in September 2026, you enter the implementation phase, which typically lasts 3 years. This gives you time to make changes thoughtfully and systematically. My advice? Don't wait until 2026 to start thinking about this. Organizations that started preparing for the 2015 version early found they could implement changes more strategically and often discovered improvements that went beyond mere compliance. Remember, this 3-year transition period is a gift. Use it wisely to not just comply, but to genuinely improve your organization's performance. Let's wrap up with the key messages I want you to take away today. This table summarizes the major differences, but the real story is about evolution and enhancement. Leadership expectations are expanding beyond commitment to include culture and ethics. Risk management is evolving from defensive to opportunity-focused. Technology guidance is being enhanced to help you navigate digital transformation. Sustainability is moving from optional to essential. And the structure is becoming more harmonized for easier integration. The bottom line is this: understanding these changes now will help you stay ahead of the curve and prepare for a smooth transition. But more than that, these changes represent genuine improvements that will make your quality management system more effective, more relevant, and more valuable to your organization. The future of quality management is being written right now, and ISO 9001:2026 is your roadmap to that future. The question isn't whether you should prepare for these changes, it's how quickly you can start benefiting from them. Thank you for your attention. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. Drop a comment if you have questions. I'm happy to help explain more. And check out our other videos.